So next we will hear from Mark Echohawk. He's been a party member for several years. He wasn't one who jumped in right at the very beginning like Catherine. He was a little bit later to join the party. He's a tribal attorney based out of St. George. He's a proud husband, father, and member of the Pawnee Nation, and is fluent in both English and Spanish. So we're happy to hear from him today.
Thank you, Hillary. Glad to share a few thoughts, and it's great to see so many people participating. So my Uniter story is connected to the welcome home theme that I've heard about. I started out honestly as a skeptic. I was pretty disenchanted with the two-party system and deficiencies in both parties. And I came to sit on the sidelines and see what it was actually about. Didn't have real high expectations. But what I saw was just common people with uncommon vision. And they were doing little things to earn a welcoming reputation for a good political home. And that was attractive to me enough so that I decided to, throw in and sign my name up and say, yeah, I'm part of the party. And a couple concepts that kind of got me to that point were concepts that I saw in the party platform and heard from people that were, party members talking, and they're connected to the ideas of welcome home. So a couple thoughts on the welcome idea. Folks here, there's probably some that are familiar with Victor Hugo's famous story, Les Miserables. Favorite story of mine, we read in that story about Bishop Myriel, who helps the main character bring about mighty change. And he earned a name as Bishop Bienvenu, or Bishop Welcome. And he earned that name because of the qualities that he had that were inclusive and supportive and charitable and compassionate. And he was hospitable to people based on principles, not just, superficial cordiality. And it was attractive to me to think that we could find a political party that I could find somewhere that was hospitable to, political strangers. Not everybody thinks exactly the same. And I saw in the UUP that political hospitality, an abundant, generous kind of thinking that that was welcoming. And I thought I want to be part of something that develops, where people are developing and exemplifying these qualities that we need in civic discourse, that would be a welcomed presence. And it just felt like, it felt like the word welcome to me, and in that story, Victor Hugo's story, there's this great exchange between the bishop and this rugged well, not political, but just a stranger, Jean Valjean at the time, where he says to the bishop, you're in surprise, you're good, you don't despise me, you take me into your house, you light candles for me. And I haven't hid from you who I am, I'm a convicted felon. But the bishop says back to him, you don't need to tell me who you are. This is not my house. I don't ask any comer whether he has a name, but whether he has an affliction. You're suffering, you're hungry, you're thirsty, but you're welcome to be here. And so he offers this kind of asylum to him and makes him feel welcome. And he tells Jean Valjean, I don't need to know your name, but I knew it before he even told me. And Jean Valjean says, how'd you know my name? I don't know you. And he answers and essentially says, your name is my brother. And we're missing that in politics. And I felt that, and I thought, gee, I want to be part of something like that where it's inclusive and not kind of the litmus test approach. A couple of thoughts about the idea of home. We all know the conventional wisdom and modern wisdom about how home should be a safe place where we feel comfortable and secure. And in a home, hopefully people respect one another and share common interests and respect the principles upon which the home is based. And it felt like that to me by watching the people that I was involved with, seeing the party platform, the kind of principles of commonality. It felt like that kind of home feeling. And it made me think of this cool line from Elizabeth Barrett Browning and Aurora Leigh, where she says, earth's crammed with heaven and every common bush is afire with God, but only he who sees takes off his shoes. And the rest sit around and pick blackberries or something like that. So in the UUP, I'm not talking about, a party crammed with God, but it's crammed with goodness. If you look at the party platform and the ideas, it's common sense governance and just goodness. And there's common people afire with notions of civic identity. And that demands respect, where we leave some of these political habits we've had in the past, politics of division, we take it off take off those kind of political shoes, if you will, and respect these great ideas that are part of the party. And so the last thought I'd like to leave with is that it's important that we keep our name. We help keep what the UUP is. And I want to share just a little quick family story. So my grandpa's grandfather, he first earned the name Echo Hawk. He was a Pawnee Indian. He grew up on the plains of Nebraska, and he was first known as Big Crow, but he earned another name. He was a good warrior, and the hawk for the Pawnee was a symbol of an effective warrior. And he also did good deeds, but he didn't talk about him. He was quiet, like the hawk doesn't sing, but his good deeds were echoed by the Pawnee people in the village. And so he became known as Kutuwakututawakaha, or the hawk whose deeds are echoed. When he was marched to Oklahoma, the government said, hey, how about you need to take the name of, we can't pronounce your name, so take the name of Price. But he refused to, and he said, no, I've earned that identity. I'm going to keep it. And we've been handed this great, from generations past, there have been great people in our society that have understood the importance of civic identity. And we have these great principles in the United Utah Party based on commonality and being welcoming and being that welcomed presence and having a home, that's a safe and secure place for people politically. Keeping that name, holding to it, and not giving it up in exchange for the politics of division and some of the things that we see around us. Those were compelling principles enough for me to get off the sideline and say, I want to be part of something like that. So, my final thought would be just, let's be passionate moderates. I love the moderates. I love the reckless optimist idea. We've got these wonderful principles that we can rally around together in a welcoming way. And so my thought is, welcome home, Uniters. I'm glad to be part of the bunch, and it's great to see everybody here.